there. Now we're good. Well, guys, very good evening once again. All right. Let's start this stream with all the details. You know, like every Friday and every coffee break, anything can happen. Behind the scenes, we have the guys, our OY tester, OY admin, OY platinum, right? They're also joining us here right now for this special late night broadcast without any prior notice. All right. This really just came up spontaneously. We were supposed to start at 6 or 6:30 in the evening, but you know, there are always more little details. Let's send greetings to our good friend Salvador. We'll put guys in pirate mode right now, guys. How are you, Salvador? How we doing?
Okay. Let's say almost pirate mode, or changing the color of the right eye. Due to a routine injury, but well, let's go.
We're doing great, aren't we?
Yes, we are almost 10. On a scale from 1 to 10, I'd say 7 per hour.
7? A 7. Well, the good stuff, brother. And in case you didn't know, our good friend Salvador, well, he almost went blind for 30 minutes, guys, my God. So you're going to get your eye out in the next few weeks. It was already needed for its good remake, its good replacement, right? Well, no, rather his good maintenance of that eye. Because, well,
Yes.
brown eye color.
Yes. What happened is that I got tired. Of both eyes being the same color. So we're changing one to a different color. That's how we're different, you see.
Well, and we also have one of the moderators here who has supported us a lot, especially on WhatsApp, right? Our good friend Alejandro. Welcome, brother. How we doing? Very good evening.
Good evening, Vic.
Well, we're hanging in there too. We also have the great OE Black, or better known as the Barry White of the community, right? Our dark hour. How we doing, Georgie? How we doing?
How's it going? Very good evening. Good evening to everyone. I'm good, very relaxed, and here, as they say, giving this Lenovo a little checkup. That's what's coming up tonight.
What's coming up? That's what's on. Thank you, Georgie. We also have Gustavo behind the scenes. Gustavito, do you have a microphone yet? Tell me you do.
No, he doesn't. He's without microphone.
He's without a microphone. He'll still be able to join us in the chat, right? And as always, our philosopher is also without a mic, but he's here with us as well, helping out with moderation, our community philosopher. All right, then, guys, that's it. Now that everyone's up to speed, don't worry. Our friends with the mics are already muted in case they want to let me know anything behind the scenes. I'm happy to hear it. And later on, I'll let you know when it's time for us to unmute. So the story is, guys, as I told you, the device arrived today. 3 days ago, the client bought it at a department store, okay? And everything was perfect until she logged in with her Microsoft account. Something got curious detail, that's why it all started, right? So from there, the client directly added her account once she was in the Windows setup, because it seems like the department store skipped the initial setup step. So the client took it home like that and was logging in with a random local account that was set up at the department store. Apparently, if I remember correctly, those are the computers that are on display, which is why they're already set up with a local account and have nothing else on them. That's what I want to think, right? I don't know if that's actually true, and unfortunately, we weren't able to fully confirm or contact them 100%. I'll tell you the other side of the story in a moment. So the client comes in because of that problem, because he tells me, well, Victor, I work just fine all day when my computer arrived, and then, well, the next day I go to turn it on in the morning, have a nice cup of coffee, and guess what? It was insisting that I log in with a Microsoft account no matter what. You know how Microsoft has been pushing us lately to sync your account. Well, on the second day, the client had her computer, that message popped up, sync your account. No problem. She had a Microsoft account, a Hotmail account she's had for a very, very long time. And it asks her to restart the computer. She restarts, logs in again, now with her email password, right? And that's where it stopped. She would get to the desktop, get to the login, and then it would freeze. I was able to confirm this myself. Why? Because she came to me with that problem. I checked it out, gave her a quick estimate of how much it would cost to fix the computer. And well, after that, well, she thought it was a bit pricey, you know? One moment, guys, I'll leave you with the moderators. Excuse me for a moment. All right, guys, sorry about that. So the client right across the street from us, there's another repair shop. The client went for the cheaper option, the most affordable one. It took her about an hour and a half to come back, and she did come back. She came back to us, folks. She came back, okay? Victor set up a Supremo session to Windows for me like before. Greetings. How's it going, brother? Hey! Very good, very good. Welcome. Thanks for joining us here. Well, the point is, guys, that the client came back, but this time she came back with a more serious problem, a much more serious one. The significant problem was that perhaps to save a mere couple of bucks or just a few dollars, right? This was the core issue. They were charging her no more than $5 just across the street, you know? But now she came back because they wiped the system from her device and the technicians there couldn't even figure out how to reinstall the system. Apparently, their pirated Windows or maybe some generic distribution that the competition uses was detected, but they still couldn't install it. It seems they wiped all the partitions on the device, including the recovery partition. Everything was completely deleted. When I tested it, I said, well, there's no system anymore. So I just tried installing a generic Windows right now. And yes, it loads everything up to 85%, but it never reaches 100 during the initial post-installation. The screen goes blank, it restarts, and that's it. Windows won't finish installing. And now, well, I told the guys, I'm going to try it now with the recovery one. We prepared that beforehand. Right now, we started up the computer at 720 using the Lenovo Recovery partition. Since we have the box, the invoice, the model, everything that the client's email provided us, we went ahead and downloaded the tool from Lenovo, from the specific model. On top of that, it's a device. It has a Ryzen 5 from the 7000 series, a Ryzen 5. And that's how we downloaded the installation media. I don't need to explain it to you in more detail or show you how it's done because we already have a video with different Lenovo models using that procedure. I'll share it here in the chat, or if my good friend Luis Manuel or one of the moderators could do me the favor of sharing how to get the media creation tool, that would be great, okay? So that's what's happened so far. In summary, guys, right now we're on the recovery screen to get a head start because what we want to do, since this is a relatively new device. So guys, thank you. Did you see that? Right now, what we are actively doing and want to emphasize is that all our Steam Platinum members, as well as our dedicated tester staff and experienced moderators, are granted exclusive and full access to the valuable ISOs or the comprehensive community version of the software, ensuring they have the most up-to-date resources available. We're recovering this type of device because they're relatively new, and we're seeing that the methodology, well, if you're a technician who maybe doesn't have a device with certain features or a certain level of expertise, you really need to master the tools. You also need to have all your client's data completely organized. In this case, the client fortunately has her email, her password, the invoice, and the serial numbers on the box. So you can do absolutely everything. I'm going to hand it over to Salvador so you can hear what he has to say. Go ahead, Salvador.
Let's not forget that the specific device in question was purchased just 3 days ago, so it is still fully under warranty and therefore cannot be opened. Menu details.
It absolutely cannot be opened, not at all. So there we have a record, right? I'm going to switch over to the main desktop here. Here you can see it. Yes, directly. Well, the guys can't see it on me, but it is showing up here on the stream. There it is again. We're waiting again for it to finish restoring because we had already done it. We found it a bit odd because just now it gave me an error. It was just finishing the installation. It restarted 4 times. During those 4 restarts, the first one automatically went into spread mode. It had a prescript per well from Lenovo. It goes into spread, cleans up some things in the registry, and integrates some Lenovo functions. Then it restarts again, and once more goes into audit mode. It goes into spread. All of that happens automatically. Luis Beltran even saw when we did one of the similar Lenovos. On the second spread, I noticed that it starts adding optimization from the manufacturer itself. It restarts, shuts down the same way, goes back in, does its cleanup, then goes into spread again, and injects the bloatware applications that, well, every OEM brand gives us, ads for the infamous McAfee apps and so on, right? All right. It finishes that spread. Again, it wipes the drive, restarts, and in theory, at that point, it should have entered the system. But instead, when it restarted, we got an error again saying that, well, something wasn't right, and the infamous QR code with an error code popped up. The code tells me, well, here the code indicates that in this case, the recovery partition was either not feasible or wasn't properly wiped. Is it just calling the manufacturer or contacting the administrator, which, well, isn't really an error. In this case, we're talking about directly booting or having booted with the Lenovo Recovery drive, the one provided on the official website. Now we want to see what happened, why that error appeared. Right now I tried a reset again, but now new options have appeared. New options in WinRE. Remember that WinRE is basically a system, a lifesaver for us with different functions, and it's the first line of support for our Windows. So yes, that's the point. Look, I'm going to... Alright, I'm gonna click on... Actually, well, let's wait. I'm going to send an image here. Let's see if it lets me... I sent it to you on WhatsApp, right guys? The image that appear when doing like a kind of, again, an internal reset, right?
Yes, that's right, Victor, yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna display it here on the computer. I'll send the cameras over here, and I will also be sending the necessary equipment along with them to ensure everything is properly set up. This lets me paste. There it is. This is it. This appeared on the screen. Once I selected the WinRE options, the menu that appeared right after was this. Do you want to keep this device configured for the workspace? If we wanted to keep certain things or not, or remove all the provisioning packages. Honestly, this is the first time I've seen something like this in a native recovery. Has this happened to you guys? Guys, any of you?
No, honestly, this is the first time.
First time, and so far, no.
That's what I'm getting at. So what happens? Now with this message that popped up, we were all like, what should we choose? We said no, and we were assuming that, well, if we say no, it will remove everything related to the configuration that Lenovo or the OEM adds, and leave it as a generic ISO for resetting or reinstalling the system. We decided to click yes, so it will keep those kinds of add-ons, right? And everything else it needs to do again, like cleaning and so on. But right now, well, those are just hypotheses. If any of you can tell us if throughout your experience as technicians, which most of you are or are learning, you've encountered something similar, I'd love to know, because these two options, at least for the stuff we have here and myself, is the first time we've seen them. That's right. It's the first time, Victor. When we used to tell you that before, we would create the ISOs and everything was good. That's true. But now, let's remember that we have a lot of details. We have a lot of unknowns right now. Now, as we know, because of the competition, we already know that there's no way we can use a generic Windows ISO anymore. Why? Because it's going to give an error. It's going to fail right away. So we can't go with that approach. No, we can't. That's one of the unknowns here. Now, another thing is that the reset process goes through and that it doesn't throw another error or anything like that. Right now, I'm explaining all of this. Basically, the whole methodology I'm talking about is something we can discuss. We can all give each other feedback. And, well, you already have the model. I'm also going to send you the other photos so you can see which model I'm using, okay? Here, I'm going to quickly go to Google Chrome because people are asking me, Victor, what did you use to make the tool? Victor, what did you use to make the tool? Well, what tool did we start with here, okay? We have several videos on the channel where we go through the whole process, right? You can also use the Lenovo option as well. Look, this one is 5 years old, 5 years. This is the most recent one, right? This is the most recent one from Lenovo. I think so. Yes, this is the most recent. Here they did. Let us open it up. There was no problem. Why? Because, well, they wanted more RAM in the device. They wanted a different type of storage drive, so it was upgraded. But here, starting from minute, I'll tell you in a moment, with Google Workspace, everything is together and connected. Docs, Drive, Gmail, and Meet. Create, here, go. That's right. It's showing up here on the screen, here. Starting at minute 3:03, it begins showing how we create the official installation media from Lenovo itself. That's exactly what I just did for this device, okay? And it's what's working for most of us. I'm gonna share the link to this video here in the chat, okay? And for those asking about the installation media, I'm going to pin this message right now here in our live chat. And that's it, okay? That's why it's not really necessary for me to explain it live right now. If you have a summarized video, watch it, pause it as you go to see how and what it does, all right? Also, in there we record in time-lapse, or rather in post-production, during video editing. Here you can see how I even show with a generic key what appeared for those so-called competitors, which is why they couldn't format or anything, right? Now, here we choose here the tools attachment, comes with Windows 10 files, not 11. The primary boot, okay? This is something interesting that we'll have to look at more closely in another video. Well, here it's asking you for the input language. In this case, it's in English at first, but I'm gonna set it to Spanish, all right? Let's select either it is ESP Spanish, and then we'll have to select the region as well, okay? This part is a bit important. We don't have Mexico, but I'm asking you why USA, why is the keyboard set to English?
With the video,
Look. Sorry guys, since I can hear the remote there. Thanks. Well, let's skip ahead here. You just click the usual next, and that's how everything gets done, right? This is how we're currently resetting this Lenovo, just like that. We haven't done anything different. Here's a question. Can I install Windows 10 on a 2019 MacBook Pro to use only Windows 10 on the 2019 MacBook Pro? Well, if you can give us more details about your MacBook Pro header is one of the new M1 or M2 models, or if it has an Intel processor, then it's possible. There are different methods, my dear Alexander, okay? But tell us the specific model, not just the year. If you can send us that, or send us a screenshot or a photo of the label on your MacBook in our WhatsApp group or Discord group, we'll be happy to give you feedback. Okay? So that's what we did, guys. 1 minute, Timon. Anything else you might want to add, my dear friends? I'll be right back in just a moment. I'm gonna sing for you all, my friends. Just chatting here with you all. The good moderators are also on the lookout, you know. Well, that's what you just saw in the time lapse. Exactly what happened, what I summarized for you while talking, is what happened. There's nothing more to it, okay? Good afternoon, Victor. It's the same thing you have to do with the HP when you restore it using the manufacturer's methods. Yes. What happens is that now, well, this specific device, this Lenovo model, we have an issue. We've already done it. But it gave us an error. No, it's fine like that. You can turn it down now. Thank you. They have just, at this very moment, closed the curtain, everyone, indicating the conclusion of this particular segment, okay? Thank you, Luis Bell. Thank you. Okay. Here's the point. As I was saying, right now we're doing it with the Lenovo Recovery version. It gave us an error after the restart. After it supposedly finished, in quotes, the chip part and the data collection, it shows us an error. And from there, now we're working with what has already been loaded without needing to connect a USB drive anymore, and without we're going to do a clean reset. And that's where the image I'm pointing to right now appeared. Okay? This is the device. We have everything for this. That's what our good friend says. Right. It's for personal use. Socrates is for personal use here, okay? But we'll see how we can fix it right now. Now, regardless of that, remember that we have a methodology so that if we manage to get this device working while we're live, we'll see if we have enough time. And if not, we'll do it offline with the friends we have here in the meet. Being able to extract the ISO once it's done, because that would, in a way, make it universal. It will be universal, so you don't have any issues when reinstalling it on a Lenovo device. Now, for us, it is a new one, because I want to think that the device is 3 days old, right? That device was acquired just 3 days ago. I want to think that this model already comes from the factory with Windows 11 24H2, and if not, well, now we'll see with what we did with the recovery or the original ISO, which version it ends up being. If it's 23H2, that would be a shame, right? It would be unfortunate, but this is where another point comes in. And it's an interesting fact that's happening to each of us here. I'm going to open up the topic a bit, okay? While we wait to see what this Lenovo is doing, it's trying to reset. I'm going to switch back to the external camera here. Look, it's still completely stuck on the Lenovo logo. Do you see that? I'm carefully putting this over here a little bit so that you can clearly see it, and hopefully this entire process turns out exceptionally well. And if not, then we are definitely going to have to deal with some other interesting curiosities, aren't we? So, 7, what was the condition of the device? The device is practically new. but because of the so-called technicians and that infamous competition that doesn't know how to do the job, they only know how to charge a few bucks, they ruined the device, wiped out the entire original system. That's what happened, okay? That's what happened. In short, my dear idiot. And I gave more details at the beginning. It would be good if you watch the stream later on, replay, so you can see. The stream will stay up, don't worry. Some parts will be edited, so if you don't stay until the end of this live, those who already joined won't be able to see other things I have for the Platinum members, right? So that's exclusive just for them. That's it. Now I'm going to go back here again. Let's see if it opens the... If I can lose the view, tell me yes, because the Meet window closed down. Now I don't know where it is anymore. Oh my gosh. Where did I leave the Meet? Is visual with us, guys? Tell me yes or no. That's fine. But if you're ready, perfect. I'm gonna close it now. Done. Hello. The information about the MacBook Pro is it's a 2019 model with an i7 processor, 16 gigabytes of memory, and a 1 terabyte drive. Perfect, Alexander. What you can do is right there in your MacBook system, if you don't want to get into too much detail, there's an option called Boot Camp in macOS. Okay? You can get it directly from the App Store, download Boot Camp from there, from the same launcher, and then within the application itself, there's an option to load Windows in dual boot with your device, okay? And you'll have Windows as well as keep your Mac part. After that, if you want, once you're in Windows, you could remove the Apple part. Another way is through virtualization. Yes, by setting up a virtual fusion, or there are also other alternatives, also with virtualizers. VirtualBox, for example, also has support for the Apple ecosystem, and there you could have Windows, all right? But I would lean more towards you doing it with Boot Camp, okay? It'll work a little better, you know? That's it. Also, as I said, if you use Alexander, we can give you more feedback. If you join our WhatsApp or Discord group, that would be great. If you can send us screenshots and so on, we'll be giving you feedback there. In Colombia, I think it's the same. They sell the computers with free DOS, and the seller of the OK, the Windows seller tries. Well, details, but you. Kevin, greetings. How's it going? How are you doing, Kevin? Very good, welcome. Perfect. I think I'm a little behind, Alexander. I just replied to you now. When it comes through, well, in what I just mentioned, but I'm telling you, right now we're facing a lot of challenges, especially with these new devices, the latest generation, or maybe from a year ago up to now. Right now we're having quite a few technical issues ourselves. It seems that the brands themselves, if we don't do it this way with their Windows, right? Already refurbished, because that's really what they do. Optimize them, customize them by the manufacturer itself. You can no longer install a generic Windows as is. I just had a debate with a technician last week as well. We were there kind of in a little, those courses that some sponsor or distributor sends us to. We had to go last week. Well, I couldn't make it, but my brother went and did me the favor of recording the talk, and there was a debate with my brother, right? With the good engineer Arturo. And then my brother tells me, you know what? Well, I got into a debate with several of the technicians about the situation we're facing with OEM manufacturer equipment, and that was it. They said, hey, but I've installed my Windows that I download from the Microsoft tools on any Lenovo and any HP. So what you're telling me can be true. Yes, one thing is that you managed to install it, because somehow we can get around it 5, 10, 15, 20 times, as many as you want. And maybe we can give it a generic Windows, like everything is normal, but it's not going to be optimal. Go ahead, my friend. And did someone raise their hand? Who was it? No?
No one, Victor.
Oh, I thought someone had raised their hand. Well,
Just a little touch of disappointment, that's all.
all right. Sorry. So what's going on? Yes, the part about the generic stuff, the part about whether it can really be installed, as I said it can, but right now that's not really it's not really what you should be doing, especially if you're a specialized technician who wants to provide good service to that equipment and above all to your client. If you want them to come back, you're going to have to do it this way, because it's very easy right now to just grab an ISO from the migrant tools, format it, and that's it. However, what we're looking at, unless it's a custom built machine, which is a whole different story, is something else entirely. On an OEM machine, HP, Lenovo, Dell, Acer, Asus, Gigabyte, Asus, right? For any of those brands, an ISO created directly with their own tool will always work better. And we've actually confirmed, thoroughly tested, and meticulously tried this out ourselves. Plus, for the past 2 full years, we've been diligently acquiring original equipment manufacturers, OEMs, from every single computer that comes into our possession. And yes, even a particular ISO, I've mentioned this to you in different live streams of an HP that we have installed on most of the team's custom built machines, and it works wonderfully. It works wonderfully. I'm about to fix the machine, and I'm going to have to put a generic version of Windows on it. No, but you see, that's the point. Now it has its advantages and disadvantages. Now, let's get into what I was telling you about. The other story that, given what we're seeing here, is relevant, right? That story is that right now, just recently, the day before yesterday, we had an issue with the server in Spain, the server that Papabu gave us, that he donated to the community for everything we're doing with materials. He had the HP version of Windows 11.23H2 installed. The server, in fact, I'm going to show it to you right now. I'm going to switch screens so you can also see it here in the Platinum section. Let me see where I have that. It's here. This is where the hedgehog is. And here in OBS, let me, if it allows me, I'm going to make this little camera here smaller. After all, we just have to wait and see what this Lenovo does. And I'm going to switch the connection window to the so-called parsec. There it is. Here we are connected directly to the server in Spain. Okay. I'm going to right click here, manage computer. Yes. And here we have another point. We have an Intel Xeon E2690 machine, and we have a capacity of 32 gigabytes of DDR3. This machine, because of the processor it has, you can already tell that by default is not a supported device for the Windows 11 platform. It doesn't support it, okay? In order to install Windows 11.23H2, we had to do a bypass, all right? But that's as far as it goes. Now, within that, it was updated to the latest version. This is an OEM ISO off, okay? And it was updated. Which version was it updated to? You can see it there. To the latest version, Windows 11.24H2 in its latest build, all right? Which was released last Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, right? The point is, this is an unsupported device. This particular update, we genuinely do not understand how it happened, just mysteriously installed itself completely without any prior notification or explicit prompt from our end, and that's precisely it. It was fully and completely installed, leaving us quite surprised by the autonomous action. The most curious thing, guys, is that when it's an update, it doesn't delete anything, it doesn't erase your settings, it doesn't remove users, it doesn't uninstall programs or applications, unless you specify that the update should do so if you use certain tools, right? But this one came through Windows Update. It arrived on its own, I want to think, because nothing was done. One of these days, my team and I suddenly lost connection. We couldn't log in until we called Papabu. Hey, you know what? Something happened with the server. Can you check what it is? And yes, the system was as if it had been formatted from scratch. There was nothing, no users, no applications, no programs. But you think, well, if Papabu formatted it for some reason or something, then I shouldn't see Windows Old folder, but I do. A Windows Old folder shows up, right? Here are the users we have created. There's the philosopher's mind, right? The testing one, and there are our files, our documents, you see? But basically, it's as if they had formatted the machine, the Xeon, from scratch, from zero. Note, that happened the day before yesterday. On that same day, another thing happened. Something else happened. I'm gonna quickly switch to a computer I have from my accountant, okay? From an accounting firm, and also, well, we are their dedicated, trusted, and primary go-to technical support specialist for their entire office infrastructure, specifically for their various firms. It's a crucial part of our service to them, involving a remote desktop connection. I am now going to proceed with the necessary steps to open the remote desktop connection application. specifically to access and manage the computer belonging to my accountant right here from my current location. Here comes another story, but this one is even crazier. I'm telling you all these guys because I want you to give me your feedback, okay? I want you to tell me everything, how it's going. Let's get to it, right? Now, let's see. I think it is cloud. Yes, I already have it under our domain.com. 2. I'm going to connect from Spain to my accountant's office, which is also here in Mexico, and we're going to use the user account I currently have on one of the computers demo. Just simply say yes, no problem at all, nothing will happen, and it will connect me automatically. I mean, look at how we're playing with this remote thing, the remote. Right? Here we are, moving from Spain all the way to Mexico. Here I'm opening a test drive that I have on that computer. And, well, it's interesting, isn't it? This computer came, I sold it to my accountant 10 years ago. It has, I sold that computer to him and I've been updating it as much as possible. The last update it got was 3.5 years ago. And I installed Windows 10 Pro on it, okay? I want you to take a look at the computer. The computer comes with the 4th generation Intel i3. It has 16 gigabytes of RAM, okay? And that's it. With this, they were working just fine. It's just that when Windows 11 came out, my accountant also told me, hey, Victor, I want you to upgrade it to Windows 11. I like it. The accountant has a grandson who talks wonders about Windows, and, well, he talked it up so much that it got him interested and he wanted that Windows, right? There's an app to check if the PC is compatible with Windows 11, and I think you can even see right there how that update went, whether it was compatible. You have to check it out. No, but the thing is, it doesn't pass, man. I'm aware of that. Now, here I'm showing you another example. It's a 4th generation i3. Something happened here. Here, what was supposed to happen actually did happen at some point, right? It didn't delete anything. It kept everything from the attorney, right? It kept the software, kept Java, kept documents, programs, settings, everything. Even my multi-session setup, because 3 users work remotely here, just like I can also log in. The attorney secretary works here and some other friends as well. This computer is basically being used by about 10 people. Now, that wasn't the problem. The problem was that he could no longer access his platforms as usual. You know that for an accountant, at least here in Mexico, they use very old software, sometimes even made by third parties, with add-ons like Java, for example, which are very, very outdated and extremely analog plugins. So from there, it was a huge marathon for me to get everything working again. But that's not the point. The point is that it's a 4th generation i3 machine and it updates through Windows Update in the usual way. Now, I did have this machine somewhat restricted when it came to updates. I have it restricted and it just had a regular Windows 10 Pro and it updated. It updated on the same day as the server. There, and you can clearly see it right there. In fact, right now, if I were to navigate to what is their so-called comprehensive control panel, and I then proceed to the dedicated software section, you will readily see the precise dates when each individual application was originally installed, right? Each application, there's even one from 2024, right? And we sort them by date and so on. Yes, look, there's one from the 31st. You can even see that I didn't prepare the video like, oh, look, I'll show you this. I'll install Windows now and tell you the typical grandpa story, right? Number, here is this computer. You can see up to where it has its add-ons and when, and yes, it was updated and it had Windows 10, okay? And there's a record for everything. Also, what's strange is here is that this one just didn't keep any part of Windows on. There's no folder to roll back to the previous version. But here, I did keep everything. And on our Xeon, the one I just showed you, it didn't keep it. A couple of weeks ago, I'm gonna get out of here now. A couple of weeks ago, something similar happened, right? Something similar happened with the same thing. Something similar happened with our friend Georgie, who also had an ISO OS. No, the server one, the Xeon, has an HP or EMN version. My accountants at his office, that machine has a generic Windows. So at that point I said, well, maybe this one is because it's OEM. Maybe because the manufacturer sent it even though it doesn't meet the requirements, and that's it. But when I find out about the accountant's machine, which is a generic Windows that I installed, Windows 11, and it bypasses the requirements that they themselves impose, now we have that question, that dilemma, okay? All right, now I'm gonna switch back to the infamous RDP. Let me see if it's here. Audio. Internet, properties. Why can't I see my remote desktop protocol RDP connection? I'm trying to access it, but it's not showing up. I have it minimized. Wonderful. Properties. I want to switch windows now so I can see Parsec itself. And I'll call up the other one. Here it is. Done. With these guys, right now I'm just stunned. I said, what did I miss these weeks we haven't been online with you, right? What has changed? Or is also, in the midst of all this, I said, what happened here? Microsoft has already backtracked. They've changed it so it doesn't matter what device it is. It doesn't matter what verification it has. I mean, it's going to give you Windows 11. That's the point. It happened to our friend Georgie, our buddy, our homie Black. The same thing happened to him with a Ryzen 5 5607. A generic ISO was installed, which was another issue as well, right? We've already told you that story several times. For some reason, the system got messed up. We reinstalled it. It wouldn't detect. We had to put Linux on it. Then we put Windows on again, and still, it just wouldn't work. We had to use an OEM version no matter what in order for Windows to accept it. It was an HP one, and it installed with 23H2. And the whole problem started when his device updated to 24H2. He was afraid it would update, but in the end, for some reason, a couple of weeks ago, the device updated without warning, without any prior notice, but the device is still working properly. It's still working without any issues, yeah. So that's the point right there. And for me, honestly, I'm fed up now, but I'm fed up in a big way, man, to the point of wanting to blow up, even though I have a lot of patience. Since this morning, on my device, I have Windows 23H2, and I keep getting the message that the update to 24H2 is ready to install and start the migration. Obviously, what I've done is just dismiss that little pop-up ad Microsoft gives us, and I haven't updated, but it shows up every 20, 25 minutes it pops up, and it's annoying, you know? It's annoying. It's really annoying. I've clicked it away like 2,000 times. And from there I said, okay, that's it. I'll pause all updates. I disable the Windows Update services through the services section. And even so, that annoying message still keeps popping up. I even started watching some videos, checked some forums, but I looked up the guide on how to block that ad that's now so deeply embedded in the system, you know? And it's annoying. So yeah, I tweaked parts of the registry so it wouldn't show up, and I was surprised it only lasted an hour before the message popped up again. But that's what I'm saying. Even Thauha, I thought, well, maybe through Windows, through the Microsoft Store, because of the updates it gets. I'm also getting a second or third service that's showing me this, even after blocking everything else. I completely got rid of the Microsoft Store, put it to sleep, deleted it from the system, only the icon was left, you know? But there's no store anymore. The store is gone, and yet I still keep getting the prompt to upgrade to 24. Can you believe it? That's absolutely right. That's right. That's the point. That's right, Luis. That's right. Yeah. He says, I think because of the whole business thing and the cache part, Microsoft decided to lift that restriction, and the problem will be the drivers and the retro community. Yeah, that's going to be quite a challenge. Well, fortunately, the device where I'm seeing that message does meet the requirements. It's an Intel Core i9 10th generation, 32 gigs of RAM, okay? So there's no issue there. But I still have that curiosity, you know? And that uncertainty, this existential crisis. Why is it that devices like the Xeon you just saw or the 4th generation i3 were able to update and in different ways, different manners? I mean, even asking the AI, no one has. Even the AI tells me what it's telling me. Even the AI itself said, you know what, you're lying to me because that can't happen. It's not possible due to hardware restrictions. Well, it happened. Yeah. The point. Okay, guys. Okay, well, with everything I told you, moderators, are you still there, guys? Staff? Alexander?
We are. Yes, hearing silence, but we are, Victor.
Perfect. How do you see everything that has happened to us these past 3 days?
One after another.
One after another. That's right, guys.
I don't break my stick, but Microsoft, why don't you ever truly surprise me anymore with something genuinely new and exciting?
Hey, Georgie, in your particular case, with your specific machine, we are genuinely quite scared of it because that's precisely where your significant problem initially started with the 24H2 update.
Yes, exactly.
So with that, well, was 24H2 what build were we on, my friend?
No, honestly, I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I don't remember, but the problem was a couple of months ago. It was after a major 24H2 update. That's when the error happened. Well, it's practically a repeated conversation now. It wasn't just mine. It was a specific 5600 model that you currently have in your possession. And also a powerful Ryzen 3200G processor, because the underlying issue seemed to be directly associated with the AMD application itself. Apparently this persistent problem. Yeah, but no, I don't remember exactly which build it was right now.
Well, that's good then. And now that it updated to 24H2 without any prior notice, did you get any errors with the driver, blue screen or anything like that, Yuri?
The first time, yes. Yes, there was an error. It was quite a while ago. I honestly don't remember the exact details, but the machine completely froze up, becoming unresponsive. It absolutely refused to update its software no matter what I tried. It reverted to 23H2 using the recovery model, and I was using it normally. Updates came out, and instead of giving me the 23H2 security patch, it jumped straight to the 24H2 update again. Right now, it skipped it again. I mean, instead of giving me the 23H2 security patch, it jumped to 24H2 without asking for permission. I told it I didn't want to install it. I really didn't. No matter what I did, I turned off the machine, and the next day, boom, update. Yeah,
That's good.
Also, let me remind you, yes, I hope you're listening to me. I also want to remind Victor about the case I had with the Lenovo, actually, where I basically did the same thing Victor did. I blocked every possible way for it to update, and even so, it still gave me the 24H2 update. I didn't want to mess with it anymore. I didn't want to roll it back precisely to avoid any conflict, so I just left it. And the machine keeps working normally, just like any other. But just like Victor's, it's a non-compatible machine, and yet it updated to 24H2.
Look at all these guys. There's another store your good friend Juan. So now we're building up quite a collection for everyone, and it's a bit more stable. But let me tell you, there's a point. Since the last update arrived this past Tuesday, the second Tuesday of the month, I did notice an improvement. I sent it in the WhatsApp group. If you missed it or you're not in the WhatsApp group, I sent a screenshot where one device had been freshly formatted with the latest update, and another device that wasn't formatted just updated to the latest version, and the performance was excellent. And I'm talking about not applying any optimization system like what we usually discuss here on the Chanela Windance, a Chris Titus Tech, or any utility tool, none of that, no optimizer. And even though the update was installed recently, and the other device was formatted from scratch with the integrated 24H2 UDI, the device is running really, really well. I didn't have to touch a single thing, not a single script to optimize anything. Nothing. And it has its perks, like location features. That's why right now I'm not really waiting for anything else. Everything that happened when people made a couple of tweaks for music was recoverable. It's there. Other than that, configurations and such have to be redone. But on the other device, the accountants, for example, it had Windows 1021 H2 and was updated to 24 H2. And it's a 4-year-old device and it's working wonderfully. So there's something going on with Microsoft, at least. That's how I feel up to now. We're talking about Windows 1124 H2 being released last October, then November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. That's 9 months. 9 months to finally have something that matches what we expected at launch. And now we're surprised that it's reaching devices that don't meet the requirements at all, and they're installing and running fine. It's a blessing. It's a stroke of luck. Welcome to the new subscriber, our good friend Pedro Castañeda. Welcome to the Goo community. We need to have these kinds of conversations, guys. I feel like we're going to have them, I think maybe every 2 weeks, or maybe every week, if not every 2 weeks, because things are happening that, at least in my experience as a technician, and for the guys here too, are going beyond our understanding. Even though we have artificial intelligence to consult and check, there are things that are only happening to us and have no explanation. That's why I'm sharing all this with you. So you can see, hey Victor, maybe this happened to me with a device like that, but look, it happens this way, oh, perfect. Because it's better to let you know, and then later I can send you more info. Now, here's a question for everyone, including the guys who want to answer. The updates we get on the second Tuesday of each month are supposed to be just security integrations. We're at, as far as we understand, it doesn't come with any innovative features, maybe just a fix for some minor issue, but that's about it. But it doesn't come with a feature that makes the system more stable, at least in theory, right? Or at least as far as we know from Microsoft. Of course, that's the idea, right?
That's what they say. Besides, well, adding things for the upcoming so-called major updates, very much in quotation marks, which are basically disabled, whether it's settings, files, period, you never really know what's inside.
And well, they're not really. But what just happened to us, I want an explanation. If anyways, you can also share this video in other groups. This stream, when we finish it and my dear friend shares it, I want someone to explain to me why this is happening, especially on unsupported devices. For supported devices, in some way we know that one way or another we're gonna have to migrate, no matter what. And for those who don't, well, those who want to use a bypass, okay, that's fine. But you accept the risks that come with it, because running Windows 11 on unsupported hardware is gonna be super. I mean, really, who are we kidding, right? It's going to have problems sooner or later. It's going to have some error, some issue, maybe a blue screen of death, because these are unsupported devices. Even if you can use a bypass and have Windows, we know we don't have full native support, right? But anyway, that's why you should go to a trusted technician who knows how to do the job well and can help you out in case you still want to keep it, because the time is coming when you'll have to break the piggy bank to get a device, maybe not the latest model, but at least one that can still run Windows 11 for a couple more years. I mean, right now we're talking about Intel 10th generation, and in the case of AMD, from the 5000 series onward without any issues, right? But that's it. Right now, I want someone to explain to me on those devices. I don't have two very different machines. One with an Intel Xeon, which is for servers, and another with an Intel i3, 4th generation. It updated. Go ahead, my friend. Express what's good and express what's friendly.
Well, I think they're already putting, in my opinion, I think Microsoft is already putting restrictions on both the bypass and the modifications being made to Windows. That's my opinion. That's why there's so much hassle right now when it comes to installation. I don't doubt that another way to get around it will be found, but I do think they're already doing that. That's my point of view.
And it's not closed off. Also, to add to what Luis Bell said, what worries me is that in the update packages, they might include new features, but keep them deactivated until they decide to activate them. I feel that's true, Luis Bell, because Right now I've been noticing an increase, as we're increasing, not us directly, but from the Azure portal where the ISOs are being downloaded, with the official patch from the second Tuesday of each month from the developer community, the ISO keeps getting bigger. We're talking about the Migratum Tools ISO. How much does it weigh? It's about 5 gigabytes and change. But once you integrate updates or provision them, it's now reached 7.4 gigabytes with the latest edition. And that's somewhat official because in my experience, when we are running some tests, especially now with everything we're doing with the web, backward compatibility and so on with my whole team, we never end up with an ISO that after adding the latest update and features is just 7.4 or 7.5 gigabytes number. Ours go up to 16 gigabytes, even 18.9 gigabytes. They reach that size. That's why we're making available to all of you on the community page the ISOs with Microsoft's official integration. There's a very good reason for this. They actually use a completely different kind of compression mechanism, even though it's installed. Why not rather not compression at all, but instead a sophisticated integration and staging process? Because they still manage to keep a somewhat reasonable size, right? So an official ISO from Microsoft itself might be 7.4 gigabytes, but a custom ISO you create using whatever methods you use, whether official tools or third-party ones, ends up being larger than that. The smallest I've ever been able to reduce a custom ISO, for my purposes, sometimes I make one for a very specific client with certain requirements, it still ends up being no less than 16.7 gigabytes. And that's even when I try if the opportunity arises, because lately the method has been failing .sd compression method, which is where you compress your install to the maximum, where you have the entire system deployment. Well, you save some space, not as much as before, but still. Let's talk about those 16.6. I can get it down to 12.3, maybe 11 point something gigabytes. But I can't get it as small as the one Microsoft itself provides in the developer section, right? In the cloud section for mass deployments, for the BLEs, there's something they're not telling us or something we're not integrating the way Microsoft does, right? With their own tool, even the OEM. We'll see in a moment how big the ISO for this Lenovo will be if everything goes well. And we'll see by how much. It wouldn't be the first time they've done it, says Luis Bell, our good friend Alejandro, right? Updates will keep working like this for any device, and over time those unsupported devices won't work well, so you'll end up buying a compatible mid to high-end device. Well, it's marketing, it's business after all. And yes, I also agree with our good friend Aquil on that. Now, I'm going to put it back over here on this side. You can make the comparison yourselves based on what I just said, right? Because just now, isn't that right, Victor? I have less left. Yes. Well, let's see. Let's talk about this with the understanding of what is here. A little topic for you to do here. I started with what is obitron.net, right? Here we have a blog. Scroll down a bit. Here, Windows. I'll also share the URL if you'd like. There you go here. Here you can always download the latest updates already integrated with the second Tuesday of each month. From here, 24H2. We're also including the official ISO directly. So if you don't like 24H2 yet, we have 23H2, okay? Here on this button, with its latest integration from the second Tuesday of each month, if you don't like Windows 11 in any of the builds that are currently supported, well, further down you'll find 22H2 with the latest integration from the second Tuesday. Okay? You can get them here, but look at the size. People are going to say, Victor, that's not true. I have an ISO that I customize and it ends up being 8 gigabytes. Yes, but we're talking about the fact that you've already removed the bloatware. Maybe you've also taken out drivers since Microsoft includes a bunch of generic ones. You've optimized the resources. So it couldn't really be considered a genuine ISO, right? Even if it only uses optimization methods. But from that point on, once you're already customizing the ISO and you're adding and removing things, what I call debloating, lightening up the ISO well, that's a different matter, a different story altogether. However, what I'm telling you here is that in this case, you don't need to do anything at all. Nothing, not inject any script, optimizer, or third-party add-on, like the tools we've been using here on the WinHands channel, Chris Titus, or any other emerging method. Microsoft is giving us an ISO that's 7 gigabytes, 7 point something gigabytes, with all its official add-ons included. That's also why we're conducting our other research method. Everything I'm telling you right now will be documented for those who, of course, have their Plus membership, all right? all Platinum members will have access to all of this, everything we're doing in terms of behind the scenes research. Yes, everything we wanted to bring you has been a bit delayed lately, mainly because of time really, but you have it, including the courses and everything else. But that's what's important, right? That's what's important, okay? And right now, with everything that's happening to us, we have to stay up to date. We have to stay sharp, really sharp. Our good friend Alejandro just shared the link, thank you. That's where you can get them. There's a password required to download them. So I kindly ask that if you want the password, you need to join the Discord or WhatsApp group. And then either the community, the judges, moderators, or administrators will give you the password, but I do need you to join, okay? I'm also gonna kindly ask you, we just had a purge in the WhatsApp group. Several members also said, hey, why were we banned or removed? Remember, it's not just about following the rules, okay? In the WhatsApp group, I want people who contribute, who help, who give feedback. Just as you ask for help, also say thank you, because that really helps a lot. And that's something I'm going to keep encouraging. If you happen to be the person who unfortunately was removed from the WhatsApp group and you say, but I didn't break any rules, it's because you were no longer active in the community. Maybe you joined with a password and never even said hello. Hey, but at least I did say hello every day. Yes, but what feedback did you give? How did you repay the favor when someone helped you solve a problem at some point? You understand me? Yes, it's nice to say hello, good morning, how are you? Yes, that's good, that's great, but it would help us more if, come on, not even Tate, but how am I supposed to teach you something, Victor, if that's why I joined the group, so you or the community can teach us? Well, but you have time to read, to do some research. Did you see something interesting? Share it with the group. Hey guys, look, in this forum, on this channel, they're teaching this, and this. What do you think? Is it good? Is it bad? We're open to criticism, but for you to just sit there restless, to stay motionless, no. It's about contributing, guys. If we have time to spend hours a day on TikTok, you can also, besides just saying hello and good morning, help the community so we can all learn. That's what I want to achieve, both in the Discord group and the WhatsApp group. If you're not on WhatsApp, that's okay, don't worry, you can join Discord. Luis Velos will welcome you with open arms, but there will come a point in Discord too where we'll do some cleaning, okay? Because we want people who really contribute, help, give feedback, and teach, okay? Look, I disappear for periods of time, but we don't do it without leaving material behind. The community is there. Here we are again, now that we've suddenly found a little time. It's nighttime, I know, but here we are sharing everything that's been happening recently and what's still to come. But that's the point, guys. Hey, so does that mean I can't go back to WhatsApp anymore? We'll see. Join Discord, do the things I just mentioned right now in this, hour and 17 minutes we've been live. And then we'll see through a consensus among the admin team and myself, okay? To see if we accept you back into the WhatsApp group. But that's what we want, guys. That's support, okay? That favor. It's not a big ask. It's not a big ask, all right? Hey, Salvador, since you're the owl here too, Supermaster, do you want to add anything to what I just said?
You took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, what can I say? It's not enough to just say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or blessings to the community. No, that's not enough. Unfortunately, just look, simply saying good morning is perfectly fine. It's, a fundamental bit of respect, or let's see, a couple of polite words, perhaps a brief acknowledgement of someone's presence, or even a simple courteous greeting to begin the day. Well, before I have any vision problems, I saw a couple of comments there, and something that really bothers me, and that probably bothers a lot of people in the community, is the fact that, oh, I need the Windows 10 ISO, that optimized the Windows 10 you guys have. Hey, good morning. Could you please share the Windows 10 ISO that you made in the community? I think it sounds different. After they have given you their sincere thank you and expressed their gratitude, those first and foremost are essential details like please, excuse me, and thank you. I truly believe that absolutely everyone is taught these fundamental courtesies in virtually any language. Isn't that right? Another thing is no. It also doesn't hurt to say, hey, look, this or that happened to me during the installation. Does anyone have any solution? Has anyone else experienced the same thing? And then, no, look, I solved it this way, or it hasn't happened to me, but if it does, I'll let you know. Those of us who have been in this field for a few more years, we've been through almost everything, right? And nowadays, we have a community. It's an active community, a community that provides feedback, where many people have experienced some problems or errors in the systems and share their feedback. Generally, we didn't have that. Now you have it, so take advantage of it, but use it well. Don't misuse it. Because it's easy to just sit back and wait to grab an ISO and leave, or do what we used to do.
An ISO or a license, because there are some users who have given away licenses for different software, not just Windows, and that's it. In fact, there were certain opportunists who would just show up and not even for their own home. They'd grab a license and run off. It was like carpet bombing. Every time they heard a serial number off, they went, and that didn't give the community a chance. No, that's not fair. It's not fair.
Yeah. In that case, that's a thank you. That's cool. Now, grabbing the license and staying, and not even a thank you, or like I mentioned at some point in the group, hey, look, take a screenshot, cross out somehow the license you use, that way you leave it for the others.
Regarding the licensing issue, guys, that's what I'm going to say for now, but it's something we can discuss, maybe do a poll on WhatsApp or in the Discord group as well, you know? We're also going to start sharing licenses for some software that works, guys. But it's better if they're given to the administrators and moderators. And through that, we see how to manage it for all of you. Because otherwise that could happen, right? And we don't want that. We want everyone to get something. That's the idea. It's also about helping, but not just being selfish and taking 5 Windows Pro licenses for myself and that's it. Go ahead, Juan, tell me.
Victor, if you allow me, I like to share my opinion as a Plus member. It's not, for me, my opinion is that asking for the ISO without really understanding how it works, it's not worth having the ISO, even if you watch the video or the replay of how it was prepared or how it works. If you don't have that feedback, as you said, to contribute to the group, to the community, because these are experiences that each of us has, and that's how I see it. I mean, it's not just about having the material, but also the practice and the opinion you have about all the material that's prepared, right? Because if in this regard we're only looking for the material just to use it, and at some point it fails you don't have the support of the whole group, of the entire community, and you can get a precise answer. That's my opinion.
Yes, it's complimentary one, actually. Now, just to be clear, there's also something about this that personally bothers me. And I have to tell you openly, I don't want people saying, no, Victor says one thing here and something else over there. No, I'm warning you here. And this is live and recorded. In fact, take a screenshot right now. I have no issue, I have no problem if you share materials from other channels, okay? For my tutorial, a video, I have no problem with that. What really bothers me is when fanaticism and misinformation take over. We know that nowadays there are certain content creators who, yes, possess a truly significant ton of subscribers, but unfortunately their material is not ethical, it's not professional, and just to show off, look, see how incredibly well my performance is going, how successful it is, and so on. That's perfectly fine. But I also genuinely don't want, because we've already encountered a few concerning cases. Hey, you allowed a video from so-and-so to be shared, and it turns out I installed that ISO in my company because Specifically, most of the time, these are custom Windows ISOs from different content creators. I installed it, and according to that guy, the one from the community who said it was perfect, he just screwed me over because I failed an audit or I had pirated software or there was malware. Look, this is where I say, let's be mindful of what we share, because our community trusts us. The user trusts what you share with them and expects it to come from a reliable source. Just because, the content creator has a ton of followers or a lot of likes or a bunch of views on their video doesn't mean it's good. Verify the information, check it, test it, okay? Now, guys, that's why we say what I can do is put my hands in, and I can do it without any, right? No doubt. Hey, when Socrates shares something with you, when Luis Bell shares something with you, when Salvador shares something with you, Juan Manuel himself, who even shares with us, Alejandro, our guy Black with Russian strips, right? Gustavo, the Owl Dad. I can put my hands on them because I know they're going to give you material that won't compromise you or harm you in your work, in your company, right? In your case of personal use, because we share truthful information supported by official information. Everything we share with you, everything the administrators and moderators share with you at any time, whether in the Plus or Platinum community, you can trust them, and I vouch for them. But unfortunately, I can't say the same for the whole community because sometimes emotion or fanaticism gets the better of us, So be careful about who is spreading the information. So if you see that something worked for you or maybe it didn't, first take your precautions. And that's why we always say we have virtualization environments. Hey, my hardware isn't powerful enough to run virtualization. Well, use a secondary partition, or if you have a spare physical machine, use that before deploying it on something personal that you use every day. It's just common sense, right? It's common sense even in our materials. In fact, that's how you should do it. Before trying it on something you use every day, your workhorse, your daily tool, that's how you should do it. That's right, isn't it? So please listen to us on this point, guys, okay? Let's not get carried away by fanboyism. Let's not let that side of us win out. No, because fanboyism is bad. It's bad, Yes, contribute, give feedback to your user, and that's it. And as I said, now, if you're going to tell me about some specific content error or about some material that was included, some specific content error, unfortunately, I can't have all the answers, nor can the community itself. Because at the end of the day, we didn't make those things. We didn't modify or customize them or create them. For that, you have to knock on the door of the community that provided you with that material. And we didn't test it, Victor. Sorry, that too. And we didn't test it, exactly. Why? Because everything we test here, guys, we already have a ton of things for testing. It's good you spoke up, Jordi. But with tools that we confidently know are being actively maintained and certainly not ones that well, if the shoe truly fits, guys, you absolutely know what I mean. A brand new version of Windows has just recently come out, specifically a light version designed for dedicated gamers, known as 2.0, thoughtfully created by the esteemed ex-creator. Okay, how wonderful. And for some, it's great that they're giving it away for free, right? Well, it doesn't cost me anything, but for others, it's going to cost you a lot because so much was invested, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And I say, that used to work back when information wasn't so public, when it wasn't so widespread at a given point and you did things right. And is everything a business? Yes, guys, it's a business. We have to eat and all that. But like I said, not at the expense and behind the backs of your people, your community. If anything, as a content creator, you have to be responsible for what you're going to give your people and what you're going to sell. For example, there were members in Plus who signed up and told me, hey, Victor, we want a certain ISO. Sure, here it is. Hey, Victor, but I already have it. It gives me ROEs and everything. No problem. There's the consulting for you. Look, here's the documentation. Hey, Victor, but it doesn't turn out for me the way it does for you. Don't worry. Have you already checked the documentation? Number. Have you watched the video? Number. Have you joined the sessions where we participate remotely or in the community meet and so on? Number. Being Plus, I want you to be clear about this. It's more than just material. It's beyond that. It's not just about what I can give you with an ISO tool or an application, it's about the training. And from each of these people we have here in the meet, as moderators who are giving you feedback and sharing their experiences, so you can learn and get feedback beyond just the material. When it comes to materials, guys, nowadays we have artificial intelligence, we have forums, we have the internet. It's just a matter of searching a little and you'll find everything. Maybe not so spoon-fed, because the most important, well, if you're not an expert or you don't know much technical English, you don't have to be a Superman with languages. But if you don't know English, or at least the main languages, right? That's where people get stuck, which is the area of IT, virtualization, or simply technology. Well, here we're gradually documenting all those manuals like before, what used to be magazines for technicians, now in digital format and in Spanish, and even more. And on top of that, with support. That's what you'll get with a Plus. That's what I'm telling you. But it's also important that you give yourself feedback. I won't be able to, nor will any of the administrators be able to support you. Well, what do you need or what problem do you have? That's important, folks. It's important, okay? So don't take it personally. Don't take it like, oh man, why? I've already explained why you were removed from WhatsApp, okay? And we're gonna keep doing purges. So that's it. Look, for example, at the time we've spent so far, we've been at it for 1 hour and 32 minutes. That's even though we started quote unquote early. Let's see, this is where I got the error. It's at 88%. Heads up. Let's see what happens now. Let's wait, okay? Well, guys, with this, I really hope, as I said, that we support each other. Oh, and there are also other users, I almost forgot that detail. They've sent private messages to the administrators and moderators. Hey, why was I removed from the group? You know why. And now with this explanation, I think I even gave more than enough reasons why they have my direct order. If you make any internal comment to them, you will simply be blocked. Because listen, guys, you don't know why. Everyone says why. No, let's not kid ourselves. And it's annoying from a certain point of view. That's why there's the comment group. And if you want to raise any complaints with the community, that's also why we are holding meets at the end of every month where you can interact with me in person. You just have to join the link in the community. Hey, but I'm in the WhatsApp group. Well, but you're also in the Discord group, and I also post the link there. Let's talk. But let's talk seriously. All right? So, and I tell you, I think at least for now, other channels haven't done that. I invite you to do it. You have one day at the end of every month, whether it's the last Friday or Saturday of each month, the chance to express whatever you want to express, whatever you want to talk about, to chat with me and with the collaborators. Also, not just feedback, but constructive criticism as well. Victor, I feel like this is not working in the community. Yes, that's right. Okay, how do we improve it? What ideas do you have? How can we perfect it? Because it's very easy sometimes to point things out and criticize and let it be constructive criticism, not destructive, okay? If that's your case and you still have that concern, like, hey, I feel like I've wronged you despite what I just said, you can tell me, hey, Victor, no, look, you know what, this, go ahead. Now, there are other members who tell me, hey, Victor, but I've been following you since 2014, 2015. Thank you so very much. I truly and deeply appreciate it because you have genuinely helped me. You've consistently given valuable feedback. What exactly have you done, and not so much for me personally, but rather for my entire community, for all these wonderful people who are diligently here every single day, actively doing, thoughtfully saying, and significantly contributing? What tangible things have you done for them, for all of them? Not just for me, please don't worry about me or the dedicated administrators or the diligent moderators. Instead, truly think about the vibrant community. It's essentially your second family when it comes to your professional work and daily interactions. And everything that's posted in the group, believe me, whether it's good or bad, it helps you. And even all the tips we've shared, especially if you work in or own a workshop or your own tech support business. So if you want to start one, believe me, it's going to help you. And this tip that you got for free, you can actually charge for it. So don't tell me. Why? Because of seniority? No, my brother. Now, for good reason. If you've been following me since the very beginning, since Wikron was launched, then you have even more reason to support and help out. And if not, well, we just don't share that ideology, that way of thinking, my friend. There are more communities out there. What's up, my learned friend? Tell me.
But I have been diligently following your work since way back in 2015. And you didn't even give me the time of day. Oh, guys, we're adults. Yeah, I really think that Let's see the feedback from those who know the most, or those of us who are most involved in the topic. This particular situation has a distinctly different and unique value. Look closely. What I always consistently tell all the young kids, and by kids, I specifically mean children truly no older than 16 or 17 years of age, is that profound knowledge is indeed something that absolutely no one can ever truly take away from you. They can certainly take your mobile phone, they can easily take your hard-earned money, they can even take your cherished house, your valuable land, your beloved car, or whatever material possession you might desire. They can indeed take it all away. But what they will genuinely and unequivocally never be able to take from you under any circumstances is your accumulated knowledge. Absolutely no one can ever take that invaluable asset away from you. Therefore, you must truly value it deeply. In this wonderful community, thank God Almighty, you have complete and unrestricted access to a wealth of knowledge, along with constant constructive feedback from a great many experienced people. Now, if you are only here merely to take advantage of what you already know, if you are here, then please take full advantage and also generously give back, even if it is just a very small amount. And as they often wisely say, within this supportive community, there are absolutely no stupid questions whatsoever. The truly stupid one is the individual who doesn't bother to ask. So if the state graciously gives you this incredible opportunity, if you genuinely get a fortunate chance, however you personally want to call it or phrase it, please take full and complete advantage of it, period. Take advantage of it. I don't think any of the administrators or moderators would say otherwise. What bothers people bothers people. That's just how it is. And for those who are desperate, have patience, it has to be that way. Because unfortunately, everyone has their own life, everyone has work. For those who are desperate or impatient, well, it's better to be patient, because that way you'll achieve something, right?
I'm looking right now for a request that someone made here on WhatsApp, guys. They tell me, hi, is it just luck or do I not get those famous blue screens? It's just that I have a laptop from around 2007, an HP ProBook. In fact, I'm gonna send a video to my good friend, because I imagine the blue screen is a topic that most of us here know about, at least I hope so, regarding the BIOS. He needs to notify the BIOS first, and then he'll be able to update to the latest version and even more beyond that. If he can install the OEM version for his device, that's even better. Oh, but I was watching this HP video, you all were watching it at the beginning just now. But anyway, this method will work for this device. From there we gave some tips, but obviously to follow this method here, you will need to have the OEM version, which we were able to extract because we did it with the MISO. Now, I should have another HP video where we use the Recovery 2C. Thanks, we started with HP. I should have an HP here as well. These are the assemblies. I'm gonna tag this one too. This could be one of the videos, and it was also in this one. This is from 2 years ago. Wow, brings back memories. And look, we even did it live. We had to re-upload it because during the live stream they took it down due to the music. The good thing is we were able to record it, and then we also shared some good tips. I don't think I have a playlist of the support videos we've made. I need to make a playlist on the channel for these videos. I'm going to do it, I think, next week, so that you have all of this documented there. And I'm also going to document this in the plus section, not just leave the video, but also provide extra documentation. Now, with the experience we've gained so far, we could get even more out of it. This HP unit, this was 3 months ago, look. Reviving an HP, real solution. Without voiding the warranty on Windows 11, this one was good too. And here, I think we used the recovery. Here we got into the SP part. We used the recovery. It lasted 26 minutes and we summarized it. Here's another one for HP. I'm gonna send this important message to my good friend Jonathan. There it is, right there. Right now my friends are probably gonna say, yeah, Victor, but we genuinely can't see anything at all. I'm gonna put the window up now so you can clearly see that we're actively responding in real time while we're doing this live stream. That's happening on WhatsApp, guys. Let me just see here the window, the specific window. I'm doing everything with just one single window. You can actually see multiple windows that I move around here. But truly, I'm supervising everything with just one primary window. So just imagine how incredibly busy I must be. There it is. You can clearly see it now. We are responding to the user in the group with the different available videos, so they absolutely can't say they can't see anything. I just posted it right here in the stream. We're putting it up for everyone to see. If you want to follow all the latest gossip and updates, you can certainly join without any problem whatsoever. Now, let's go back to the Lenovo device to see what exactly happens, what's truly going on with this Lenovo. Well, there's the Lenovo, there's the Lenovo getting itself ready. Well, at least it didn't give an error this time, which is a good sign. It's installing at 1%. Please keep the device connected and securely plugged in. This is quite new and unexpected. Supposedly, it really shouldn't look like this at all. It should give me, I don't know, a small detailed phone window or something similar. But now, in theory, it's as if it were updating something else. This is new in the Lenovo Recovery. And look, it's not connected to any peripherals, nor is it connected to Wi-Fi, nor to a wired net. It's just there, okay? You can see it yourselves. Idiot, now I clearly understand why. Idiot, I have already thoroughly explained this situation multiple times. Nevertheless, you are welcome to join our exclusive Discord group. All these informative videos that I have meticulously shared, I'm also going to promptly send them to our Discord server, where my good friend Luisbel is actively present in our general chat. This way, you can easily access and view them as well. You can certainly check out the very first video I sent to my friend. You are free to copy the link directly. I am going to send this particular video here right now. And then subsequently, we will send the one that is most strikingly similar to this current issue. I will make sure to forward that one too, ensuring you have all the relevant resources. The recovery drive was locked, and every single detail and event that transpired there, I have just sent them as well immediately into the general chat of our dedicated group, our very own community group. And right here, and let's proceed to the chat. Let's reply to the chat, which is currently at 2%. We initiated this entire complex process, my dear friends, involving the recovery and everything else associated with it. We began it precisely at 7 p.m. The unfortunate error, the critical issue, occurred specifically between 7:20 p.m., 7:20 p.m. and 7:25 p.m. It is now precisely 9 o'clock in the evening. Is it truly 9 o'clock already? Has it already reached 10 o'clock? Time certainly flies when you're dealing with these technical challenges. Seriously? Damn. We've already hit an hour and 45 minutes, guys. Let's see where we end up. The maximum would be 2 hours for the stream. But anyway, we've already talked a bit about everything. I'm really glad. And now you're doing great, brother. Cheers. Yeah, right? Alright. Well, Jonathan, if you're watching the stream, that's great. I'm really glad. I've already given you several tips you can follow to see what's causing the screen issues or whatever else. There are several little details we noticed with those different gear unpackers. The last video I sent you is, I think, the most relevant, where you create your recovery directly from the official website, especially if you have the label, the sticker, the serial number, and everything. And you can do it without any problem. And if not, well, we have the HP SOEM ISO, which you could use on your computer, but the SOEM ISOs are for members. Well, plus there it is. At a significant 27%, the situation is truly going to give me gray hair. Well, at least it didn't present the very first error, which would have been quite frustrating. I would have genuinely liked it to show up on the screen so you could clearly see the specific code. I mean, I regrettably didn't manage to take a picture of it at that precise moment. Well, now we can clearly observe that it's currently at 37%, then quickly moving to 39%. Wow. It certainly takes a considerable while to process, but that's precisely what I was trying to explain to you earlier. Just look at the current time We've been diligently working at this since 7 o'clock, then 7, 8, 9, 10, and it has already been a full 3 hours of continuous effort. Plus, what we still have to do to extract the ISO, the challenge we have to face to convert it into an installable ISO format. What is it? Not opening it. Why? Well, it has a warranty. If I open this right now, goodbye to the warranty on the device. But now let's see how we do it. How do we do it? And that documentation will be available to Plus members. Of course. Question. Tell me about a photographer whose piano got damaged. What? Right? In the middle of an event, the SD card from his Canon camera. In your experience, which program has recovered the most for you? Thank you. Well, it's just that SD cards and micro SDs. Salvador, I think you've had some issues with microelectronics and so on. Have you recovered any of those?
Expect a problem with your SD.
Well, he wants to recover the data, but as far as I know about memory cards, it's a micro SD. So you would tell me,
What kind of problem? I also have a problem with a bunch of SSDs, but
and the question is, does it come to my... I take it to Kevin's workshop, a photographer whose SD card from his Canon camera got damaged right in the middle of an event. Based on your experiences, which program has managed to recover the most data? Or you, Alejandro, since you also work with microelectronics and data recovery.
as our friend here said, we will need to see what kind of damage it has, but to recover data from a micro SD, there are many programs from Distillace's data recovery, recovery data recovery, and some other similar ones. But again, you have to see what kind of damage it has. Right in the middle of the event, meaning the camera itself caused problems. Several things could have happened. I think, just to be clear, I don't have all the answers.
I don't have all the answers here.
No, unfortunately, I don't have them either. It is quite plausible that the memory card experienced an overwhelming surge of data, leading to it becoming severely overloaded. When a card reaches such a critical state of being overloaded, it often automatically transitions its recording format to a raw, uncompressed state, such as a RAW format, in an attempt to manage the excessive data flow. Consequently, because the card was subjected to such an extreme and unmanageable overload, it simply became entirely unreadable, rendering the stored information inaccessible and irretrievable. There, let's see, through the terminal. At this precise moment, I regret to inform you that I do not possess the specific, readily available commands at my immediate disposal. However, if you were to embark upon a diligent and thorough search for them, perhaps by meticulously consulting comprehensive online databases, delving into specialized technical documentation, or actively participating in and querying expert forums dedicated to such matters, you would undoubtedly uncover the precise instructions you require. Alternatively, let us consider the rapidly evolving landscape of artificial intelligence. If you were to meticulously formulate and articulate the problem with utmost clarity and precision, presenting it effectively to any sophisticated artificial intelligence system, particularly one that has been extensively trained with your unique data and possesses an intimate understanding of your specific context, preferences, and operational environment, it could potentially offer invaluable assistance in resolving your predicament. This crucial distinction is paramount because an AI system that lacks familiarity with your particular circumstances would be akin to seeking medical advice from a traditional Chinese doctor regarding a highly specialized Western surgical procedure. The fundamental lack of shared context and understanding would render the consultation largely ineffective and potentially misleading. Therefore, it is highly advisable to first attempt to recover the data or rectify the issue directly by leveraging the robust capabilities of a Linux operating system, utilizing its powerful command line tools and versatile open source utilities. Should the Linux approach, for any unforeseen reason, prove to be unsuccessful or present insurmountable challenges, then your next logical step would be to proceed with the recovery process using a Mac operating system, as both platforms offer formidable tools and functionalities for system level operations and data retrieval. It is also pertinent to note that the current time is rapidly approaching 1 o'clock, indicating that this task has either been ongoing for a considerable duration or is being addressed quite late in the day, which might influence the urgency and the availability of resources for comprehensive troubleshooting.
It's 1 o'clock. If you want to join me now,
Biotic.
go ahead. Yes. I'm telling you 2 hours because also within that YouTube guys, they just changed the policies. So you have to be a little careful with all that sharing and other timing issues. And now with YouTube, well, everything is more confusing.
But none of these particular options fit it.
And also because I'm gonna have to go get my other screwdriver kit, guys. I have an adapter here that goes from Phillips to Allen type. It's considerably smaller. It's absolutely not letting me go forward. And if I persistently keep trying, something deep down tells me I'm definitely going to erase the entire messy situation on my external drive. And that's certainly not the intended idea. We absolutely do not want that to happen. They're so incredibly cheap, aren't they? So I'm telling you, at most, in about 10 minutes, I'll do another live stream where we'll go ahead and meticulously do the installation process and the subsequent test. As you clearly saw, after the brief cut, the device is now completely ready. There are no more lingering issues whatsoever. It's entirely done. What's giving me significant trouble now is more about precisely how we're going to make the ISO come out perfectly. So that's it. I'll leave it here at exactly 1 hour and 52 minutes. We thoroughly enjoyed this live session. We'll go wash our faces like good dedicated ping pong players with plenty of water and soap. And we'll promptly come back for a second stream, specifically for testing and extracting the ISO from this Lenovo device. And let's see if we successfully get it done. Come on, Jimenez, that's very good. Ready to proceed. I have 2 minutes well, according to OBS. I still have ample time remaining. And on YouTube, I have 8 full minutes left to hit the required hours. So in this remaining time, what I'm going to do is start the other stream right away. So there's absolutely no issue, and we can smoothly move to the second link and not mess up the intricate algorithm. They say the community manager, who is in fact my wonderful wife, she tells me, hey, do you genuinely want to grow or not? So yeah, you have to follow the rules and timing. I said, okay, fine, let's do it here. All right, I'm gonna give it for now the same stream name, but I'll add part 2. Later on, we'll see how we rename. For now, I can tentatively leave part 2 with the same description, primarily because the visual content and the core subject matter we are currently examining remain fundamentally identical. However, in order to clearly and effectively differentiate it from the previous segment and provide a distinct identity, I will be assigning it a completely different and comprehensive white paper. Furthermore, I am excited to announce that I will be presenting an exclusive and highly anticipated project that is scheduled to be unveiled next week, specifically for our esteemed Platinum members, offering them a unique and valuable insight. And as for the much anticipated meeting with all of you, including the dedicated interactive team and the engaging interactive stream, I will be sure to promptly inform you about the precise details and the exciting developments of what constitutes the crucial second phase of our collaborative efforts, ensuring everyone is well prepared and informed. That's right, the second phase. I'm gonna put this here. And supposedly, there's the second live stream. Very well. Alright then guys, I'm signing off from this one. And I'll see those of you who want to stay up a little later to see how all this ends. Alright? Alright, see you later. Let's go.